Always have the cameraman on standby.
Let me see. Now I gotta listen to it.
Okay.
Might have to just restart it.
Lexi writes, Jason will fix us.
There it goes.
Always have the cameraman on standby. Can you guys hear me now? Okay, cool. We're up and running. Yep, always got Jason in the background, rocking a man bun tonight. No one can see it. No one can see it. All right, guys. Sorry for that slight little delay. It's always kind of just Russian roulette. Is that the right game? I don't know. I don't gamble. You just never know what you're gonna get with these lives sometimes. So appreciate your patience and hanging in there with us tonight. Before we jump on into questions, I just want to know how everyone's doing. I know for myself, I'm a little bit tired. Like, I know it's only the second month of the year, you guys, but it kind of feels like the 14th month of 2020. Like, does anybody else feel like this? That's just kind of how I'm feeling. I feel like I need a little break from it all, but I'm sure we all feel that way. I'm sure we can all relate. So just deep breathing, try to do the best every day we can, stay focused on what we can be blessed for and not focus on the stuff that we can't control, because regardless of where you live right now, there's things that we just cannot control. So it's always good to kind of think about how you guys deal with these situations and how it impacts you. And I bring that up because as a dietitian, I know this firsthand with my clients, that it's these types of things that show us and challenge us that impact our health and impact how we deal with our health if we choose to ignore our health, and how we choose to self-care, how we choose to nourish our bodies or maybe not nourish our bodies. So, you know, times like this where you're feeling a little run down, you feel like, you know, things are getting to you, start to assess what you're doing to kind of fill up your cup a little bit. So for me, sometimes it's just taking a day off doing absolutely nothing. Sometimes it's, you know, actually doing a little bit more. Sometimes for me, in my mental space, I do better, or I'll feel better and less anxious if I just focus, do a bit more, focus on educating myself. I find that by doing a little bit more, like with my continuing education, I find that that's been helping my mental health with just feeling more positive, feeling more productive. So that's just my little intro rant. I thought I'd share that with you guys just because I know everyone's kind of got a lot on their plate. So as you guys are coming in here to the chat, say hello and let me know what your questions are. I did get a bunch on Instagram from when I posted yesterday, so I did screenshot those. Haley has wrote, Haley, okay? Haley, you are really quiet. Okay. Am I really quiet?
If she keeps doing it, tell her I'm gonna ban her.
Haley, we got the point. I feel like I'm speaking loudly, but I don't always know how it comes through on people's computers or phones or however you're watching me. Maybe check your own volume as well.
Haley, stop or I will ban you from the channel. No joke.
Someone has a LA Customs here for you, Jay.
Huh?
LA Customs is here for you.
What up, bro?
Yeah.
What up, dude?
Caitlin, yeah, the weather totally impacts my mood and my eating as well. Like, I'm someone that's like, okay, thinking seasonally, I'm a seasonal eater. And summertime for me, I feel like it's just so much easier, especially in New York, eating healthier. Oh, that's really gonna mess with me.
What?
It's giving like a microphone.
Microfunction. You can keep going.
I can't see those people's comments. It's all coming over here, but not over there. Oh, just gotta scroll down, huh?
Just keep talking. Do your thing.
So yeah, I was just saying for me seasonally, it's always a bit easier for me to eat healthier in the summertime just because like fresh produce is so much more available. The summer heat, I feel like temperature wise, like I just want to eat fresh fruits and vegetables and like crispy, refreshing things. Whereas in the cold winter months, I lean more towards like comfort foods and casseroles and maybe higher carbohydrate type dishes. So again, all different things to think about for your own self with assessing how you handle these situations, whether it be the seasons, the environment, the things we can't control, and really taking a look at how you as a person respond to it and what ways maybe you can make some choices. So I know oftentimes on this channel we can talk a lot about specific diets or specific calorie levels or tracking your macros, but sometimes you don't even have to go that deep, you guys. It's just honestly taking a look into yourself a bit more introspectively and seeing how you respond to different things in the environment and how you cope. And are you coping in a good way or a bad way with food? Could it be better? Could we do things a bit differently that would maybe just make you feel better? So trying to kind of shift a lot of your behaviors towards what makes you feel the best, what makes you feel good going to bed at night, and hopefully feeling your best when you wake up the next morning. So anyways, if you guys, I don't think I've gotten any questions in the chat box yet because I know we're kind of getting through the sound issues, but I think we're good to go now. So if you guys have questions, throw them on in the chat box, and I can also pick up my phone here and answer some questions too that you guys sent me on Instagram. So if you're not following me over there, go on and follow me over there at Calorie Fit Life, because that is where I do a lot of Q&As as well. Yeah, I agree, Caitlin. Like the emotional eating is, I think, really big during, like in New York and in colder, I always say New York, but in any colder state, I think, you know, we tend to not get as much sunlight, and that, I know that impacts me. The older I get, like each and every year, the lack of sunlight really takes a toll on me as a person. I think we've been blessed this year. Like we got off to a rocky start with no sunlight, and then we've had like a good, nice sunny few weeks here that have really definitely helped the mood for sure. Yeah, you guys like Jay's hair up? It was nice to, he let me pull his hair up so I could see his face tonight, and it made me smile. I was like, oh, there's my handsome little face, my handsome little husband.
Yeah, I chose to work in the dark one day for some reason. It was sunny out. I'm like, why the hell did I do that?
Why did you do that with your blackout curtains?
Yeah, I'm stupid. That's why.
All right, so, let's see. LA Custom, Jay might do like a Corso Q&A over on his Instagram at some point. I'm not sure when, so don't hold me to it, but we're gonna stick with more nutrition related stuff here because I'm actually not a Corso expert, although I am a Corso mom.
You're an expert at raising one.
I am. Ashley, I haven't tried, I don't think I have tried the eggplant parm from Trader Joe's, but I do love eggplant parm. So if it's good, let me know and I'll pick it up. I go there probably like once a week now for their wild caught Argentinian shrimp that Jason and I are both addicted to. Kiana asks, what's my opinion about carb cycling? Carb cycling is, I mean, I don't really have a strong opinion on it. It's definitely not necessary. It's a tool that can be used if you are someone specifically entering into a dieting phase. Probably more so for like my extreme athletes, my bodybuilders, those that are truly trying to get to extreme lean levels. Carb cycling can be very helpful to kind of just, I think, mentally keep you adhering to your diet protocols because it gives you those shifts, it gives you those changes, and some people do better with like knowing that they eat this much one day and this much the next day, whereas other people find it too overwhelming to be shifting back and forth between what do I eat today and tomorrow. It comes down to who you are as a person and what your preference is, whatever works best for you for adherence. So it is a tool that can be used. It's I don't feel like it's particularly magical. It's still about being in a deficit for the most part, but it can help with kind of rotating through instead of just being like low carb all the time, throwing in the high carb, which I do oftentimes with my clients, but more so as a refeed versus cycling up and down consistently. So it's something to look into. There's multiple different ways that you can go about carb cycling. I think we spoke about this just in another live actually. So, but some people do carbs, no carbs, carbs, no carbs, whereas other people do no carbs, low carbs, and then moderate carbs and just continue to cycle. So there are different mechanisms out there for going about doing it. You can try it out, see if you like it.
I think it was the last live, maybe.
I think it was the last live we talked about it.
It's kind of coded.
All right. Oh, okay, Haley, that's all right. I didn't realize you had a glitch in your computer. We get some people that are just a little go ham in the chat box. Let's see. Amy says, could I discuss menstrual cravings and how to replace them with healthier alternatives? My hunger levels get super crazy about a week or so before my cycle begins. Yeah, that's definitely very relatable for my females in the chat. Usually I find myself the same way. Specifically, like I'll have specific cravings, and hormonally your body does crave more chocolate. It does have more of that sweet preference with the changes in your hormones right before you do menstruate. So you're not alone. You are experiencing those cravings. So that's the first thing, because some people are like, they get guilty over it. There's no need to be guilty over it. It's human nature. It's what us women and ladies go through. So how to deal with it? A couple different ways. For myself, or for someone, if you're following a structured weight loss program, if you're actually, Bruce Wayne's across, flipping his alligator everywhere, so I apologize. So if you're someone on a structured weight loss program, what I used to do was definitely plan within that week before to the week during. It's not to say that I wouldn't still consume nutrient-dense foods, but I would certainly make sure I fit in some of my healthier alternatives. I have a lot of them on my YouTube channel. Mostly I would do a lot with whey protein and making like kind of higher protein, lower carb desserts, but that had a really sweet taste to them, because I do have a major sweet tooth regardless of that time of the month. So I would oftentimes kind of fit in some of those sweeter items, making them healthier. Things like oat, like honestly, nothing hits better for me sometimes than just like a big bowl of oatmeal with throwing some chocolate chips in there, like just a tablespoon or two. Honestly, isn't a ton of sugar, it's not a ton of carbs, and then a little bit of peanut butter, and letting it all kind of melt in there. It's kind of one of my favorite like healthier alternatives, if you will, because it's just so sweet, satisfying. You're still getting some good nutrition in there with the oats and the protein from a little bit of protein and fat from the peanut butter. So it always goes over so well for me. And then, so that's more if I'm like really following structure. There's other times of the month where it's just, it hits hard and you're having cravings and you're thinking about something and you just can't stop thinking about it to the point where you're starting to feel nuts. If I'm someone that I keep thinking about something, like if I'm having a craving during that time and I'm thinking, man, I just really want a chocolate bar, I'm really craving chocolate, I'm really craving it, and I can't get it off my mind, I usually just have the chocolate bar, you guys, and move on with my life. I don't usually beat myself up about it. I don't say I ruined the day and then go order a whole pizza and eat that. Like, I just go about my business. So I feel like that's sometimes more helpful than the healthier alternative, depending on where you're at with your goals. So for me, it works for me right now to just not be so obsessive, fulfill the craving and move on about my day. But I know sometimes that's hard for people. So it is good to kind of come up with some healthier alternatives for recipes. And Jason threw in the chat box for you guys too a period chat that I did a little bit ago, kind of talking about managing some of those. So you guys can check that out too, because it's a little bit of an older video, but still relevant information. What's my opinion on calorie-free? Sorry guys, I got dry mouth. I gotta drink some water. I sucked at drinking water today, so here's your water reminder. If you haven't drank any water, grab yourself a glass. All right, yes, thank you, Amy. The Back Life asked, do you think eating in front of the TV or mobile device affects eating habits versus just eating at a dining table? Absolutely, 100%. And this is the shift of the world. It has been for a long time, but I think it's getting worse and worse. And I know for myself personally, I think about if I just sit down and have dinner, or if I go out to dinner with my husband, or if I'm with a friend and I'm actually sitting at a dinner table eating, being more active and present in my eating. I'm not scrolling through my phone, I'm not watching TV, I'm not trying to multitask and do other things. You truly can focus on mindful eating, where you really think about the food more, you slow down with it, you take the time to enjoy it, and therefore it, number one, takes you longer to eat the meal. And with taking longer to eat the meal, that allows the hormones within your body to understand what's happening. When you eat so quickly, which can happen a lot when we're on our mobile devices or in front of the TV, you don't even take long enough to eat for the hormones to be sent to your brain to tell you you're full. So then you're just like, well, I guess I'm still hungry, I'll keep eating. You gotta at least give yourself 15 to 20 minutes after eating to really know where you're at on that hunger scale, if you're satisfied or if you're not. So I do feel like it is problematic and makes a difference in terms of overeating, because you're not able to best recognize where you're at on the hunger scale. And I'm not saying you have to whip out the hunger scale, but being mindful and present with yourself to say, where am I at? Am I still like, do I still have like growling in my stomach? Or am I content? Or am I like to the point where I have to unbutton my pants? These are the things you should think about when you sit down to eat a meal. Oftentimes that's lost in just the pleasure of eating your meal and actually like giving it attention. It makes a huge difference. So there's just like a little key for you guys as you're going through the rest of your week. If you're someone who is often eating while doing other things, which I'm one of them, like I almost always, when I'm at work, like I eat and I keep working. When I'm at home, it varies. Like sometimes I like to just sit there and not necessarily in silence, because I have tinnitus in my ears, so I don't like having that ringing in my ears, so I might have like something playing, but I like to sit there and think about my food. I'm like a food moaner. I don't mean that in a nasty way, but I'm like, I like to make a lot of noises when I eat. I like to really enjoy my food, and I like to let the people around me know I'm enjoying my food. So, yeah, so try that out this week. I encourage you guys to try that out. Sit down at your dinner table. For me, we don't use our dinner table. We use our like bar area actually. So that's where I like to kind of sit and have my meal when I'm actually being more mindful with it. Great question. Let's see. What is CatFit asks, what's your opinion on calorie-free beverages, limiting them, avoiding overconsumption? Yeah, I would say I think calorie-free beverages can absolutely fit into a normal healthy diet. I think there can be overconsumption. There is the lovely, we always have soda in the house. We always do have some calorie-free beverages because, you know, I like drinking water. I love drinking water. Sometimes I'm not great at it, but I love it. But it's nice to have some flavor and something different and an alternative. So there's nothing to feel shameful about if you like to enjoy yourself a diet soda on occasion. There's limited research that suggests that diet soda causes the same cravings as if you were starting the eating process. And I've just never found that to be true for me as a person. I'm only one person, however, and I don't feel like there's a lot of studies that really support that, but something that gets discussed with our diet sodas. So think about what type of person you are. Do you feel like you drink a diet soda and it causes you cravings? Do a self-assessment. Don't necessarily pigeonhole yourself that that's the end all be all. For myself, having some soda, diet soda, a little carbonation, actually helps fill up my stomach due to the carbonation. Would like a natural water do the same thing, like sparkling water? Yeah, but it just don't taste as good. It just doesn't. So in terms of artificial sweeteners, they are generally recognized as safe at like set levels, which in order to get to above those levels, you would have to have copious amounts of artificial sweeteners, which maybe some people do. So I just always advise people to kind of moderate it. It doesn't mean because it's diet, because it's sugar-free or calorie-free, that you should just consume as much as you want of it. I don't believe that either. I do more of that when I'm in a severe cut, but you know, kind of think about your own health too, because we do see some research that supports certain artificial sweeteners can potentially impact the gut microbiome, but we definitely need a lot more research on that area to kind of better understand the impact and at what level. So all things to think about. Panda Pop says, thoughts on maca. Maca is great to add into your diet. If you have recommendations on how to best do that, let me know, because I've tried it before. I've tried doing like the maca teas or adding it into a smoothie, and I can't get down with the flavor of it, even though there's health benefits. So that's okay too, you guys. Sometimes you don't have to love every health food. Sometimes you make it fit anyways because you're thinking about the health benefits, and then other times you just find other things to add in your diet. Nelson asked the best way to lower your cholesterol levels, high fiber diet, or what would you suggest? Yes, a high fiber diet can be a great way to help lower your cholesterol levels. It's going to depend on where your cholesterol's at and in terms of what you're trying to lower. I don't think enough times practitioners look at the actual ratios when it comes to your cholesterol. So I encourage you to do that first before you feel like you absolutely have to modify your diet. Some folks may have a high cholesterol level because their HDL cholesterol, which is the very good cholesterol, is super duper high, therefore throwing up your total cholesterol number as a whole. You really want to look at the ratio of good to bad and go by that number. I myself have a high cholesterol, actually it's over 200, but my ratio is excellent and my HDL is oftentimes right under 90. So I've never done anything to modify, and I am someone that high cholesterol runs in the family. So you have cholesterol in your body. You do need cholesterol in your body to make up your structures within your body, but some cholesterol is just naturally produced. And for some of us, it's hereditary that we're overproducers of cholesterol. Can diet impact that? It may slightly, and for some of us, it may be something that we are going to need some type of medication to assist with it. You can also look at how much cholesterol is coming in through your diet. Is that something that you're just consuming too much cholesterol? And maybe you modify that and you're good to go. Fiber can help with reduction as well though. So making sure you're eating adequate fiber. The insoluble fiber in particular can also help with eliminating some of that additional cholesterol. Let's see. How do you fight boredom eating? Ken asks. I swear my ADD is half the reason I snack when I shouldn't be. Yeah, that's super common. So, you know, we eat for a lot of reasons other than hunger. Boredom is one of them for sure. And it's kind of a behavior, as I was kind of introing at the beginning of this video, that we get ourselves into, that you have to start to take notice of when you're going to eat. Instead of making a rash decision, you kind of got to catch yourself in the act a bit and have an honesty moment with yourself of whether or not you're hungry, or is this because you're bored? Is this because eating sounds better than doing your to-do list? Is this because you're stressed out, you're angry, you're upset? And oftentimes we sometimes just don't know what to do with those emotions, right? Like, we don't want to feel those emotions. No one wants to feel bored or upset or any of those negative things. We eat out of happiness too, so it's not all bad. But sometimes you just have to feel your feelings. And in the particular case of boredom, that one I find is a bit easier to problem solve. Because if you're just bored, Ken, we gotta find you something else to do, boy. I got a lot of things you could do. I got a lot on my plate. I could use some help. But no, it's just kind of finding some other things to occupy your time. So I don't know where you live and what you have accessible to you, but you know, if you're kind of not sure if you're hungry or if it's just boredom eating, I'll tell people go for a stroll if you can. Like if you can take a 10-minute walk, get up, get out of your environment, go walk to, you know, for me, I'm at work, go walk to my car and back or something, get my mind off it. When you come back, are you still thinking about food, or is it out of your mind and now you're on to the next thing? So find some of those common interests that you have that you enjoy, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's dancing to some music, whether it's grabbing a book, watching one of my YouTube videos, or just doing anything at all to occupy your time. Now, some people would say, well, isn't that bad? Are you ignoring your hunger? No, Ken just said he's bored. He's not hungry. So it's really like kind of figuring out your body a bit better. And when we're born, when we are little bitty babies, we are so intuitive with when we need to eat. And, you know, intuitive eating is all the rage right now, but it's not always super easy. There's so many factors that cause us as we're growing up to no longer be in tune with our hunger and when we should eat and how much we should eat. And then throw on top of it all of the messages that you see every day with what diet you should be eating, carnivore, keto, no carb, low carb. It just makes your head hurt to where not only are you not in tune with your hunger, but then all of a sudden you don't even know how to eat anymore. You're like, I don't know if this is good or bad, or if I should do it or not do it, or should I feel bad about it? And it gets really confusing and overwhelming for all of us, even someone like myself who's got a degree in nutrition. It gets overwhelming that way. So we lose the ability to kind of know when to eat and not eat. So sometimes that's a great first step, is just even keeping a journal and kind of monitoring when you eat and monitoring. And I have clients do this sometimes. Monitor before you eat. I want you to write down like where you're at, whether it be on the hunger scale or whether it be just emotionally. How are you feeling? Are you just hungry? Are you present? Or are you feeling sad? Are you feeling bored? Are you feeling happy? You want to go celebrate. You're not really hungry, but you want to go celebrate. So paying more attention to those emotions before eating, and then also after you're done eating too. So again, not just thinking about if you're full or not, but thinking about the emotions attached to it. How are you feeling after you're done eating? Are you feeling guilty for some reason? Are you feeling regretful? Are you feeling happy? Sometimes taking note of the emotions is so much more valuable information for yourself and your health goals versus even paying attention to numbers, weighing your food, weighing your body, all the other stuff. Sometimes starting to get more in tune with your body is the first step, you guys. And we don't always want to start with that step because you do got to look within you and you got to figure some shit out. But that doesn't mean you're going to lose weight quickly if you're someone that wants to lose weight, but sometimes that is the first step. I was like, who's smelling my fingers? It's for Swain. My baby. I kiss you, but I have red lipstick on. I fake kiss you. Okay. Thank you. We're trying out the new Jaclyn Hill red lip tonight. Let's see. Tips for someone that wants to be vegan but have meat eating family. Oh, okay. I mean, I don't really have great tips for you other than like, do what you want to do. When it comes to your diet, whomever you are, do what's best for you for your diet, regardless of your family's behaviors. You may get some peer pressure, you may get some hate, you may get some people questioning you. So think about your why. Why do you want to be a vegan? If that's important to you, you have to make the people in your life that you care about aware, educate them on why it's important to you. And don't worry about the other BS that you'll get from people you don't care about, okay? Do what's best for you. Will says when he eats ribs, he's happy. I'm happy when I eat any food. I don't know if ribs is my jam though. I feel like there's just not enough meat on them ribs, you know? It's like, I want a big piece of meat, not some tiny little nibble of meat. Juicy Vlogs, what's up? How to be confident in your own body when you like to eat a lot. Separate the two. Eating a lot has nothing to do with liking. It doesn't have to have everything to do with liking your own body. Or if you're, I guess I need more information there. But I like to eat a lot too, girlfriend. I do. And I don't know what to say. I guess I just kind of feel like the confidence that you have in your body shouldn't always be associated with your eating habits, okay? Like, don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place that we do things. We modify our foods to modify our body. Absolutely. I am not an RD that thinks otherwise. But confidence doesn't necessarily have to be attached to what you eat. So there's no reason that you treat yourself to a cheeseburger that you can't still feel confident in your body. Now, what can happen though is when we're chronically feeling like we're not eating the right things, and what that's doing is making us feel low energy, feel low mood, and then feel bad about ourselves. That is what can kind of play into that low self-esteem, the low body confidence that you speak of. So I guess you have to kind of think about it a bit with how your eating habits are making you feel on a day-to-day basis. But the reason why I'm cautious with how I'm answering this is because just because sometimes we shift our eating habits, maybe you eat less, it doesn't all of a sudden mean you're going to be body confident. I've seen people who go from that go from being overweight to being stage lean at a bodybuilding show, and when they're at the bodybuilding show is when they are the most insecure with themselves. So I kind of want you to separate the two, that just because you eat a lot or you eat less, it's not always attached to confidence. It's up here that we have to really kind of assess more and look into a bit deeper with why we're feeling that lack of confidence. So a little bit more work needs to be done there. And that's not an attack on you. That's so super common. I work with tons of women who that is the first issue we have to get through, is how are we speaking to ourselves? You know, and I'm human and I have my days where I feel like a blob. I feel like a whale. And you guys may think I'm crazy for saying that, but I feel that way. And I can be mean to myself and I can feel disgusted and I can feel like Jason may want to compliment me and I'm like, ew, why are you complimenting me? I'm disgusting, you know? Like, we just are so mean to ourselves sometimes. We fall into that little victim trap of it. And there's really no need for it. Life's too friggin' short, you guys. So, you know, let's do more things that boost not only ourselves up, but let's boost each other up. That's why I'm liking to do these lives, because I feel like you guys, I hope, are getting something out of it. And I just want to kind of remind you guys to be more kind to yourselves and not hate yourself during the process if you are actively going through a weight loss process, or you're trying to change your life or your diet or your body, etc. So good questions tonight. Kaylee just got accepted to her dietetic internship. Let's give her a hand. Let's give her a round of applause. That is not easy to do, especially during COVID. Oh my gosh, how stressful. And it's already super competitive, so congrats to you. My internship was some of the best time of my life, I guess I would say, in terms of my career. Like, in learning, like, if you like to learn, and I miss that about being an adult. Like, I have to learn on my own now, which is fine, but man, I loved being an intern. I loved working with so many different people. I worked with so many different amazing people. I learned so much. So I encourage you, Kaylee, to just keep an open mind, keep a positive mind, even if you're in your internship and you don't like someone, or you don't like the experience, or you think it's stupid what they're doing. You take that information, you learn from it, and it'll just make you it'll help you kind of build up your own career. So okay, what else do we got here? Oh, okay. Sorry, I am trying to go in order, guys, but sometimes I do miss them. So what are my thoughts on Monkfruit sweetener? Is it a healthier alternative? I don't think it's any healthier than some of the other sweetener alternatives. I can't stand the taste of it, is my own personal opinion. It gives a very distinct flavor, I feel like, to food and beverages. For that reason, I don't personally like it. It's not found to be unsafe by any means, though, from what I've seen with it. What can I do if I don't gain weight, but I eat a lot of food that's healthy? If I don't gain weight, but I eat a lot of food that's healthy and unhealthy. I'm trying to make sense of that one. I'm not sure I'm following. I also, you guys know I do these like after a full-on work day, so sometimes I'm not as quick on the uptake. Tips for someone that needs to gain weight. Okay, so for tips for folks who need to gain weight, I would say think about how many times you're eating throughout the day and what types of foods you're choosing. You would be the type of person that I would advise you, although I love encouraging people to eat fruits and vegetables, you may need to be someone that kind of veers away from the high volume foods that are gonna fill you up more quickly, because if you're struggling to eat enough, you need to not fill up so much on the voluminous foods, and you may be someone that needs to sneak in some of the less nutrient dense foods on occasion in effort to get the calories up. So everyone's goal is going to be a little bit different. So there are supplements you can take as well. Check out tigerfitness.com. There are like gainer type shakes. The Big O just came out, the company Mark Lobliner has with Brandon Curry. And so he's got like some great products if you're looking to gain and are struggling to actually get your weight up. You're the type of person that would probably benefit from stuff like that. So just like someone does on a weight loss phase, you have to be strategic. If you don't plan, you're likely going to fail. So it's no different with weight loss. If you don't actually set out on how you're going to go about to get in those additional calories, you're probably not going to. So you have to be purposeful with it. You have to think about what foods you're eating and try to fit in a bit more not necessarily less nutrient dense, more calorically dense foods is what I meant to say. Oh, Katie, thank you so much. I appreciate that you guys enjoy listening to me. You know I like to ramble too, so you ask me a quick question, I give you my dissertation on it, from soup to nuts. If anyone has heard that saying, please let me know. I feel like that ages me because, I don't know. Anyways.
I don't even know that.
I know, that's an old school one. Let's see. How can I gain weight when Haley asked, how can I gain weight when I'm very tiny and I haven't gained weight in years? That's a very generic question. It's gonna come down to what have you done to try to gain weight, but you need to be in a caloric surplus. You need to be having more calories coming in than what your body's expending. So maybe you have a super high metabolism, maybe you are just not eating enough. Maybe your exercise output is way too high, or maybe you have other things medically going on causing you to struggle to gain weight. So there's a few things to tease out there, but the biggest thing is going to be ensuring that you're getting in adequate calories and for a long enough period of time in a surplus, an effort to actually start gaining weight. Yeah, so like Otto Man needs to gain weight and he says he's been eating tuna, rice, and beans. Those are very low caloric foods. You would have to add some fat sources in there, add a bit more calories in there. That's a very healthy meal and that's great to eat, but in effort to be gaining weight, you might have to be a bit more purposeful. You might have to pick a fattier source of protein, maybe switch over to salmon or switch over to fattier sources of beef or things like that in terms of your protein choices. Maybe add some butter to your meals to kind of slide in those easy extra calories that aren't necessarily going to fill you up either. So thinking about some other fat sources. MCT oil is something that I used to use quite a bit with folks that struggle to gain weight too. Let's see, did I miss one up here? Pam asks, I work out in the evening after dinner. After working out, I don't feel hungry. How important is it to eat or drink a recovery drink after this, or is it okay to just drink water? You know, Pam, honestly, I think it depends on what your goals are. You don't have to like necessarily have by recovery drink. I don't know if you mean like protein shake or Gatorade, but it depends on what exercise you are doing, you know, how intense it is. I think I mentioned this in another live, but like it's the difference of, are you going through like a 45-minute fat blasting class doing some weights, or are you going out for like a 2-hour plus run where you definitely need to replenish your body? So it kind of depends on the duration of your workout and what the output is during that workout as well, before I would actually like prescribe people to either intra-fuel and add things in during the workout, or ensure that you definitely have something right afterwards. And it also depends on performance-wise what you're looking to achieve. Are you someone who is got set performance goals, whether it be you're doing the trials to get into the Olympics, or like I said, you're an endurance runner, or you're an Olympic lifter, power lifter, things of that nature, where it's very performance based and meal timing may be that much more important. For someone like myself right now, I don't have any specific goals like that. I'm more just like working on maintaining my strength, maybe building it up a bit. It's not super critical if you're not hungry afterward to not eat. You know, make sure you get in the calories you need prior to, and you should be okay. It's kind of like thinking about, sometimes we get like so focused on like what we do on a day-to-day basis, which is okay. Sometimes we gotta take it one day at a time, I feel you. But we also need to think about the bigger picture here when it comes to our diet, and not go down the rabbit hole every single day, and think about, okay, over the span of the week, did I eat enough fruits and vegetables? Did I get in my protein? How'd I do with water? And kind of think a bit more like large scale in terms of how you're doing with your nutrition goals. Kayla asks, is it bad to work out every day and not have a rest day? I mean, I personally feel like mentally people should have a rest day and off from the gym. But here's the thing, like a lot of us don't move enough. So it really depends on what you're doing, where I would say like, no girl, you definitely need to take your rest day. It really depends like what you're doing, I think. You know, for someone like myself, when I was in bodybuilding, the most I would do was 6 days a week in the gym, and I would give myself that one full rest day, if you will. But even then, sometimes a rest day, you still want to be active. So most of us should be active every single day of the week. So it's not bad to work out every day, but there is also a limit where there is over exercising, and there is doing too much, and there is overtaxing your body, overstressing your body, where you could be standing in the way of your own goals because you're overdoing it in the gym. So it is a balance. More is not always better either. Kristen asks, have you made any dietary changes post-birth control? I think, yeah, post-birth control. So I went off birth control 4 years ago. I didn't immediately, but I will say when my acne started flaring up, and I got all the people telling me, oh, it's all the dairy you're eating, it's all the meat you're eating, it's all this you're eating, it got in my head a little bit. So I did trial some things. I trialed the no dairy, which was so hard for me. Oh my God. I just love dairy. I love cheese. I love yogurt. I could have dairy with every single meal. But again, with all things, we can overdo it. So I try not to, but I just love dairy. Bless you. So it was very hard for me to give up. I did not notice, for me personally, any changes with my diet that impacted my acne. So that was more related to the acne because I went off the birth control. I didn't really make a ton of other dietary changes other than knowing and learning about how vitamin deficient my body likely was, that I was trying to be more cognizant of eating enough fruit, making sure I was getting in a variety of fruits and vegetables, and then also I did add in a ton of supplements. So Kayla asks, is intermittent fasting and working out bad during the same window? So I believe you mean like if you're working out during your fasted window, I would assume. It's not bad. I guess it just depends like what your goals are. I've played around with that as well. I always work out fasted. Just naturally, if you think about it, when you go to bed at night, if you go to sleep for 8 hours, 9 hours a night, maybe 6 sometimes for me. But when you get up, I get up and I just work out usually. I'm not hungry first thing in the morning, and I also just don't have time to like sit down, eat a meal, digest, work out before I go to work. So I always work out fasted. I don't know. I don't think it makes that big of a difference, but it depends on what your goals are. Again, it depends how serious you are as someone. Are you trying to gain muscle right now? Do you have performance-based goals? Depending on that, it may not be that big of a deal, quite honestly. But are you also feeling like you're going to pass out while you're working out? That's probably not a good thing. We might want to reassess how you're approaching that. My God, I didn't even get to the Instagram questions whatsoever yet tonight. I guess I could answer those tomorrow on Instagram or something. I'm trying to rapid fire. I'm trying. Someone likes to snack. I create stuff. I like to snack at night if I'm up late. Should that be eliminated, or is that something like fruits or nuts a good option? Look, it really doesn't, there's no such thing as it being bad that you snack late at night. Your body doesn't really like necessarily do anything differently because of what time it is. There's some studies that could impact some hormone levels there. If you're eating late at night, it could potentially make it hard for you to sleep. But at the end of the day, the bigger picture here, like I said, think bigger picture. Don't go down too many rabbit holes here, is what are your goals? Are you trying to actively lose weight, and are you overeating when you snack at night because you're mindlessly eating? Or are the fruits and the nuts, are the fruits and the nuts kind of fitting into your overall healthy diet, helping you maintain and helping move you towards your goals? And are you snacking because you're hungry? Or are you snacking because it's a created habit that you enjoy snacking while you watch TV late at night? So some things to consider there. Would I classify Bang Energy as a pre-workout? Yeah, I would classify energy drinks as a pre-workout for sure. They're kind of like formulated similarly, but they're not going to be like, the nice thing about a Tiger Fitness pre-workout, something like Clash or Sniper, is how they're formulated. They're properly dosed. I actually like doing pre-workouts where you get your full dose of creatine in there too. Something like Clash would have has what, 3? 5? Sniper and Clash both have the 5 milligrams of creatine in there, which is great for lifting. Is it grams or milligrams? Grams. I noticed a huge difference when I'm taking creatine consistently. That would be Jason's grilled cheese plate. All right, what else we got? I am like hotter than hot right now with this giant sweater on, and I got 2 big lights shining on me. All right, what else do we got here? Let's see. I gotta write some of this stuff down because you guys give me dynamite stuff, and then I'm over here like, I don't know what to actually film for YouTube, but you guys give me all the ideas. This is where I need someone to like read questions to me. How do I kill bloat late at night, says Nelly Belly. I always wake up with lots of gas. I would say you probably need to take a look at what foods you're eating. And what you're drinking too. If you're having carbonation, are you a gum chewer all day long? How much water are you drinking? And likely you've got some stuff coming in through the diet that's causing you to feel like that. You shouldn't feel bloated at nighttime, and you shouldn't wake up feeling gassy. I know we do kind of normalize bloating, but it's not a normal thing. It's normal in the fact that many experience it, yes. But is it something that we should just be like, yeah, it's normal, don't worry about it? No, you're having some distress going on, so you have to kind of actively take a look at what's causing that. And it can be hard to tease out. It can take a lot of time to tease it out and really figure it out what it is.
First lay down.
Jason getting that grilled cheese on.
It was delicious too.
Haley, after this, if you go over to my YouTube channel, I just did a video on protein, talking a bit more about that. You might find that helpful, but there's so many great protein options, and I know a lot of people do struggle with that. I just did a poll on Instagram, and like the majority of people struggle with getting their protein in. So I may try to find time somehow. I don't know. It may come with like, I don't know, taking a vacation. But I'd like to come up with some resources for you guys. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. Maybe just like short little PDFs that could be good references to give you guys some good ideas in terms of high protein sources, meals, snacks. I did do a little cookbook with Tiger Fitness a long time ago. I don't think they have any left. I don't think they do they?
I think so.
It was all like whey protein recipes just to cook with whey, because I know some people get bored of protein shakes, but again, protein is something you have to be strategic with. It's not convenient. It's not easily accessible. Most people get their protein from animal-derived food products, which are usually perishable type items that need to be refrigerated, that need to be prepped, that need to be cooked. So it comes with planning. But yeah, I usually end up eating like 2 meals with a meat source, usually like a 4-ounce piece of meat, because for me that's a 25-gram protein portion. So I'll do that, and then I'll usually end up doing my Planta protein smoothie shake at nighttime. That's Ambrosia Collective. You can also get that at tigerfitness.com. Link in all my description boxes. And then I'll usually do Greek yogurt. I usually do try to get in some other sources there. I don't like to eat meat 5 times a day. I just can't do that. I was once vegetarian, and I did go through the bro phase of eating meat 5 times a day, and I just can't. I can't. Unless it's like a big, fat, juicy steak. Yes, I could eat like lots of steaks if it was cooked right. Anyways. Okay, so PDFs, like, let me know. I would like to I know not everyone can afford coaching, and I also can only take so many clients because I work a full-time job and then I do all the YouTube stuff. So I want to carve out the time to do more resources for you guys that are just like easy, downloadable, real affordable options that would be helpful for you. So that's it's my idea. I have to figure out how to put it in action. So that's the plan. Let's see. How can fluids be added to a diet? Very easily. I mean, I tell people, I have a lot of shaker cups laying around. Get yourself a jug. If you just mean getting ample hydration, I think that's the key, is that you need to have something present and with you, so you're remembering like, oh, look at this. It's totally full. I didn't drink a lick of it yet. As a reminder, so you can kind of then set small goals to drink fluids throughout the day. You can also get hydration via the diet through fruits and vegetables as well. So it's not just drinking water. Your body is comprised of a lot of water though, so it's good to replenish that. But you can also get hydration in through your food sources as well. So fruits and veggies is the way to go on that. You're gonna get some hydration in through things like Greek yogurts and puddings and applesauce. Like, there's a calculation there for how much fluid you're actually getting from those items too. And ice cream. My husband gets a lot of fluid in from his nightly bowl of ice cream.
Grilled cheese and ice cream.
Sounds
like I'm 6 years old.
Grilled cheese and ice cream. Can't gain a pound. You've always ate like you're 6 years old.
I know.
If you guys want to see a live with me and Jason, let me know in the chat box. I also slightly want to do a live on Britney Spears, the Free Britney movement. It has nothing to do with nutrition, but I'm just a diehard fan, and I just and not to bash anyone, I just kind of want to talk conspiracy theories, but I'm not sure if y'all are into it, so please let me know. Oh, this is funny. Brittany asks, I always wonder why bodybuilders never ate pork. I've checked macros on some, and it's pretty lean depending on what you get. I agree. Like, there's definitely like you can get pork chops, very lean cut of meat. When I came into the scene, pork was known as a dirty meat. Okay, it was known as a dirty animal, a dirty meat. You don't eat it, and I guess it kind of is. I don't know. Are we now labeling animals as good or bad foods? It's not healthy.
It's not a clean food.
It's not a clean.
Pork isn't clean.
It's not a clean food. I think that's why, honestly, it's going back to bodybuilders are still that bro type diet. And look, there's a lot to be said for it. I've done enough preps that I can tell you in terms of my body composition and how I looked varied based on flexible dieting and what I was eating versus more of a strict structured meal plan. It did make a difference in how my physique looked, very interestingly enough. Brittany and Jason, I love you, Rebecca, for that. We love a good conspiracy. We do, Lexi. And can we give a shout out to Lexi for joining me every Wednesday night and moderating for me and kind of helping you guys out with the tidbits. Oh, Yoda Man, you donated to me last week, I think. Yoda Man just shot over $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's really nice of you. It does help support us, and as you guys know, we do try to, we had small commissions here and there from things. Our biggest is the Buff Bunny collection stuff, but we always do try to utilize any commissions to put back into the channel, and we're always trying to up our game over here. I think if any of you are my OGs, such as Yoda Man, who have followed me for a while, you'll have seen over the years that we do try to constantly improve, try to switch it up, but just improve the quality of what you guys are receiving over here. So thank you very much. Money is always appreciated. Okay, so we might have to do a fun little Brittany live at some point. There will be some drinking for that one.
Why don't you plan it for next week?
Yeah, maybe we'll do that next week.
Wow, it's fresh on the channel.
Yeah, it is. It's fresh. I want to do some research and we'll talk conspiracy theories. But all right, how is it 8 o'clock and I feel like I did not answer enough questions? How is that possible? An hour is long enough for you guys, right? Isn't it? I don't got any longer in me. I don't got any more in me, but don't fear. Fear not if I didn't get to your question, or fear not if you're watching this not live after the fact and you made it to an hour and 2 minutes and you're like, my question wasn't answered. Guess what? I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to still be here answering you guys' questions on my YouTube channel. I'm going to be providing more nutrition-based content, doing a bit more back to basic type content. That was my whole plan in 2020, and then COVID hit. And I was like, creativity out the door. We just trying to survive up in here, all right? But no excuses in 2021. I'm really trying to like stay creative and not get bogged down with uncontrollable bullshit, as should you. So don't worry, more of that to come. Make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel before you head on out of here, because some of you may be joining and you're like, I haven't seen this chick's channel. Check out my channel. Lots of good information, lots more to come. So you also turn on the post notification bell. That way you guys know each and every time I upload, you'll have that resource there. And on Instagram as well. I do a bit more Q&A. I'm a little more active in stories than I am on the feed posts because I just, haven't been on my selfie game. So sorry about that. I should. Look at this red lip though. I like it. But all right, guys, I know I didn't get to all of your questions, but thank you so much for joining me tonight. Yoda Man, thank you again for the support. Letitia, don't think I didn't see you up in there, boo. I hope you're enjoying your week. I hope everyone's doing great. I'm really enjoying these kind of little midweek chats with you. We might have to switch it up Brittany style next week to keep it, fun and spicy, but more nutrition content coming to the channel, guys. So I hope you guys all have a fabulous evening. Thanks for winding down with me on this Wednesday.